Tributes are pouring in for Lewis. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi releasing a statement reading in part, "John Lewis was a titan of the civil rights movement whose goodness, faith, and bravery transformed our nation."
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy writing, "It was a true privilege to call John a friend. I admired him and will miss him. His life and legacy of patriotism will endure for as long as America does." We want to bring in now another man who served with him, Representative Michael Waltz of Florida. Good morning, Congressman. Your thoughts on the passing of John Lewis?
Well, you know, my colleague John Lewis was just a giant of a man. I just watched the movie Selma, and one of the things that brought out was, you know, how much John was in the center of the fight against violent resistance. How he fought that kind of hate and that violence with love. He fought it with hope. And he truly changed his community and he changed his country through nonviolence, with hope and with that love. He was a servant leader in every sense of the word. And, you know, I'm deeply saddened for his loss, and I'm deeply saddened that I couldn't take him up on his invitation to come march with him in Selma, where he brought together all elements of our society every year. And the focus was on the change that he brought, but the focus also was on how he and Dr. King and others brought it about. And that's something that he lived his entire life, and he will be greatly missed.
Congressman Waltz, this is Jason Chaffetz. You and I had the opportunity and honor to serve with Congressman Lewis. You know, he was a soft and gentle person when you would chat with him one-on-one, but he had a definitive voice when he wanted to make it be heard. Tell us about your experience with that.
Well, that was my experience with him, and that's why I call him a servant leader. You know, as a Christian, you know, Jesus walked on this earth with strength, but with humility, and I think that's what John Lewis espoused. There was definitely a presence and a strength about him, and like so many other politicians want to be the loudest person in the room, he didn't need to be. When he was there, you knew it, and when he spoke, he truly had something to say that was impactful, and I think that's a lesson all of us could take.
Congressman, we'd like to keep you with us for a moment as we head to the latest on the coronavirus right now. We're going to get your reaction in just a moment, because Florida and Texas are reporting over 10,000 new COVID-19 cases on Friday, the two states making up 30% of all new cases in the entire country.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has implemented a mask mandate. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has not. Right now, 28 states and Washington, D.C. have made wearing masks in public mandatory. We want to talk a little bit about the situation in Florida, but I'm in Washington, Congressman, and I know the Senate, Mitch McConnell, is going to unveil his next phase 4 package to try and address this pandemic. And you actually have a piece of it that I want our viewers to hear about. That is, you want to inspire military veterans to become part of the fight against COVID.
Yeah, so we are taking this virus very seriously. I'll tell you, I was just in a VA hospital, and people, you know, obviously are testing positive, some with mild symptoms. The average age is 39, but they're coming in, they're getting treated, and they're released. Actually, that hospital told me their average treatment has gone from 12 days down to 8. So as we see that age drop, we're still paying close attention to hospitalization rates and to death rates, not necessarily to the testing numbers. And I want to get to the bottom of why some of these testing numbers are being so overreported. In terms of the next stimulus package, the Senate has what's called the CORE Act, and it's very focused on national service. Why is that so important? It incentivizes people to give back to their community. This can be through Habitat for Humanity. This can be through elderly care, through National Park Service. But how do we get folks back out serving their country, their neighbors, and their community again? Meanwhile, we have youth unemployment at 25%, which is just incredible to get them out learning leadership, followership, teamwork, all things that we know inherently as veterans. And the important thing when you serve, you do it with people that don't look like you, that don't come from the same background, right? And that really came home to me when a veteran that I was very close with used to tell me, coming from the segregated South, the first black man he ever spoke to was his bunkmate in the Navy. So we have a piece that's going to incentivize that and expand that in this next stimulus package. This is backed by veterans groups like With Honor Action and others. I think we need to get America serving again. That's not a military thing. That's an American thing, and I'm excited about it.
Congressman, we need to get your quick reaction because our own Chris Wallace from Fox News sat down with President Trump to talk about a mask mandate. Now, this interview in its entirety will air on Fox News Sunday, but we have a little clip. Listen to this.
You wore a mask for the first time in public at Walter Reed this weekend. Question, the CDC says if everybody wore a mask for 4 to 6 weeks, we could get this under control. Do you regret not wearing a mask in public from the start? And will you consider a national mandate that people need to wear masks?
No, I want people to have a certain freedom, and I don't believe in that, no. And I don't agree with the statement that if everybody wear a mask, everything disappears. Hey, Dr. Fauci said don't wear a mask. Our Surgeon General, terrific guy, said don't wear a mask. Everybody was saying don't wear a mask. All of a sudden, everybody's got to wear a mask. And as you know, masks cause problems too. With that being said, I'm a believer in masks. I think masks are good.
More on that interview with Donald Trump, the president, with Chris Wallace, a fascinating interview. It'll be on Fox News Sunday tomorrow. Congressman, your reaction to what the president said.
Look, I absolutely agree with the president. We don't need national mandates. We don't need statewide mandates. We don't need a rancher in Wyoming who's out, taking care of his ranch being forced or fined for wearing a mask. Let's let common sense reign here. When I step into an elevator, if I'm crowded with folks, I put the mask on and then I put it back in my pocket if I'm outside walking my dog. So I've seen people literally screaming at people across the street to wear their mask when they're out there by themselves, walking on the beach or just outside enjoying time with their family. So I think this really espouses a difference in how the left approaches things and how conservatives do. We're about common sense. We're about individual responsibility. If you're into a crowded space indoors, the CDC guidelines, if you cannot social distance and you're forced together for some reason, then pop a mask on. The president did that in the hospital. I did coming into this building. But outside, look, let's let common sense rule here.
Congressman,
Congressman, obviously a very challenging time as businesses try to adapt to the situation and create a safe environment. Health officials try to respond to what seems to be an ever-changing virus. Congressman Michael Waltz, we appreciate your thoughts and commentary today. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks so much.